Hello again, everyone. Unearthed Arcana is back rather quickly, I think. Subclasses Part 3, and so we are here today once again to look over them. This time we have subclasses for the Artificer, Druid, and Ranger. And today I thought we'd just start off with the Artificer. Pretty interesting that the Artificer is getting a new subclass already, since it is so new, coming out with the Eberron book. But hey, that's pretty cool. And so, yeah, I thought we'd just go into the Armorer Artificer in this video, and we'll be going over the Druid and the Ranger a bit later. Funnily enough, I do have a Artificer video recorded, I just have to edit it. So I guess I'll be going over the new subclass before I go over anything else with the Artificer, but hey, whatever. It happens. Like we always do, I'm going to stick to the more mechanical, tactical combat aspects of things. Not really going to focus too much on the flavor or fantasy of the class, but you should know to expect that by now. So yeah, let's just get into the Armorer Artificer, starting off with Tools of the Trade at 3rd level. You gain proficiency with heavy armor, and you also gain proficiency with the Smith's Tools. Pretty standard for a 3rd level Artificer feature. I think just about every Artificer gets something like this at 3rd level. It may seem a bit weird that it's only proficiency with heavy armor and not also martial weapons, like the Battlesmith, but that will make sense in a bit. We've also got the Armorer Spells. Like every other Artificer, this one also has an expanded spell list, and holy crap is this spell list really good. At 3rd level you get Magic Missile and Shield, both extremely useful spells that every wizard takes. Magic Missile for a bit more offense and Shield for a bit more defense. At 5th level you get Mirror Image and Shatter. Mirror Image another great defensive spell, and Shatter a pretty decent 2nd level AoE spell. At 9th level you get Hypnotic Pattern and Lightning Bolt. Hypnotic Pattern an extremely powerful AoE crowd control ability, and Lightning Bolt, obviously, one of the best damaging 3rd level spells. At 13th level you get Fire Shield and Greater Invisibility, 2 more just great defensive options. And finally at 17th level you get Pass Wall and Wall of Force, 2 more utility spells but still very powerful in their own right. So yeah, overall, the Armorer spells, there isn't a bad spell on this list. Also at 3rd level, we get Power Armor. As an action, you can turn a suit of heavy armor you are wearing into Power Armor, and you gain the following benefits if you do so. The armor no longer has a strength requirement for you. You can use the armor as a spellcasting focus, and it can't be removed forcefully, and also goes over your entire body, replacing limbs, everything like that. The armor continues to be Power Armor until you take it off, put on another suit of armor, or you die. So this is where that proficiency with heavy armor comes into play. Artificer's probably not going to have the highest strength, heavy armor not very viable, unless you take away that strength requirement. Also at 3rd level, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of 3rd level abilities, you get Armor Model. And this is really the meat and potatoes of the Armorer subclass. You essentially get to choose a special design for your armor, choosing from either the Guardian or Infiltrator designs. The Guardian's designed to be more frontline. You get Thunder Gauntlets, which turns each of your armored fists into simple melee weapons that deal 1d8 thunder damage on a hit. And a creature hit by the gauntlet has disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than you until the start of your next turn. Definitely designed to be the tank. You also get Defensive Field. As a bonus action, you can gain temporary hit points equal to your level in this class. Again, making you very tanky. Just getting 3 to 20 temporary hit points at the start of every turn. It doesn't sound like much, but over the course of an encounter and over the course of, say, a dungeon, you're going to end up negating a lot of damage. The Infiltrator is supposed to customize your armor for more subtle undertakings. It includes the Lightning Launcher. It's a simple ranged weapon, 90 to 300 feet, range increments, and it deals 1d6 lightning damage on a hit. Also, once on each of your turns, when you hit a creature with it, you can deal an extra 1d6 lightning damage to that target. You also get Powered Steps, which increases your walking speed by 5 feet, and Second Skin. Your power armor's weight becomes negligible, and it becomes form-fitting and wearable under clothing. Also, the big part of this, if the armor normally imposes disadvantage on stealth checks, the power armor doesn't. So the Second Skin ability of the Infiltrator is pretty huge. Being able to wear heavy armor and still sneak around, your party's going to thank you. It really is just the worst when everyone else is at least decent at stealth, and then you just have that guy in heavy armor coming behind, rattling and clanking their way down the dungeon hall. The Lightning Launcher seems okay. 1d6 or 2d6 with no modifier isn't great, and disadvantage in melee is going to hurt, since it is a ranged weapon. But ideally, with your stealth capabilities and also faster speed, and the fact that it is a ranged weapon, hopefully you won't be getting into melee as much? I don't know, seems kind of weird that you'd be wearing heavy armor but want to avoid melee. Overall, going over all of the 3rd level Artificer abilities for the Armorer, this is already an incredibly powerful subclass, and I really do like the choice that it gives you between the Guardian or Infiltrator, and that you can change between the two over a short or long rest, so you can really be ready for any situation. That ability to switch between them almost as the need arises is invaluable in my opinion. At 5th level, you gain the extra attack feature, perfect for throwing your Thunder Gauntlets around, or blasting away with your Lightning Launcher. I think this is a lot more powerful for the Thunder Gauntlets than it is the Lightning Launcher, though. Being able to potentially make 2 targets be almost forced to attack you is, I think, a lot more valuable than being able to do 3d6 instead of 2d6 lightning damage. At 9th level, you get the Armor Modifications feature, and this allows you to use your Artificer Infusions on different pieces of your power armor. The armor essentially counts as separate items for the purposes of your Infuse Items feature, with the chest piece, boots, bracers, and weapon all counting as different things. Each of those items can bear one of your infusions, and in addition, the maximum number of items you can infuse at once increases by 2. But those extra items must be a part of your power armor. So at this point, the Armorer Artificer goes from pretty good to just flat out broken. Being able to infuse the 4 different pieces of your armor, all with separate infusions, which by the way there are some added ones later that we'll get to, can just make you totally unstoppable. Like, once the Artificer hits 9th level and they get armor modifications, I hope the rest of their party is ready to lose their magic items that the Artificer made them, because they're all going on the armor now. Imagine having an AC higher than the tanks, with Thunder Gauntlets and the defensive field, along with enhanced armor, boots of haste, some kind of bracers, I don't know, and an improvement on their gauntlets. You are actually just going to be a complete monster. I don't know if there would be an easy counter to this for the DM, but I would start looking into one. And if it wasn't already bad enough, 15th level they get Perfected Armor. This grants further benefits to each of the designs from Armor Model. The Guardian one here is, I think, the coolest one. When a creature you can see ends its turn within 30 feet of you, you can use your reaction to force the creature to succeed on a strength saving throw against your spell save DC, or be pulled up to 30 feet toward you to an unoccupied space. If you pull the target to a space within 5 feet of you, you can make a melee weapon attack against it as part of this reaction, and you can use this reaction a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier. That is just hilarious. Imagine an enemy walking up to the friendly wizard, attacking them a few times and then ending their turn, only for the Artificer to extend their hand and go, "Get over here!" And suddenly they just fly across the room, just to be decked in the back of the head by the Artificer. I mean, that is seriously funny, and also really, really powerful. And if you can manage to hit them with your Thunder Gauntlet as part of that reaction, you'll still have disadvantage on attack rolls until the start of your next turn, which can potentially counteract any legendary actions or things like that, which you'll probably be seeing by the time you get to this level. The Infiltrator gets a pretty neat bonus. Any creature that takes lightning damage from your lightning launcher glimmers with light until the start of your next turn. The next attack roll against it by a creature other than you has advantage. And if that attack hits, it deals an extra 1d6 lightning damage. While this isn't as flashy as the Guardian bonus, I mean, it's literally flashier, but you know what I mean. I think it is numerically very, very powerful. Allowing the rogue or the fighter to get advantage against enemies and deal extra damage on that hit is always good, and there is no limit to this. Every single time you hit a creature with your lightning launcher, this effect is going to take place, which is pretty crazy. You essentially get a free guiding bolt passive attached to all of your attacks. Overall, I think Perfected Armor is very powerful, but also very fun, and a pretty good feature. As for the Armorer Artificer overall, its expanded spell list is amazing. Both of the armor models you can choose from are good in their own rights, and the ability to switch between them is very nice. Though I do think once the Artificer gets their armor modifications and spends all of their infusions buffing themselves up, they are just going to be hilariously overpowered, especially with the crazy bonuses they get from Perfected Armor at 15th. So yeah, overall I think I am pretty happy with this subclass, though I do think maybe toning it down a little would be fine. In its current form, it is definitely at the top of the list when it comes to Artificer subclasses. Granted, the Artificer subclasses that we have now aren't that insanely powerful, so perhaps this is by design to give them a really good powerful one. We also do have a few new infusions to go over here, a couple of them very useful for the Armorer Artificer. We have Armor of Magical Strength. which requires 10th level Artificer and a suit of armor, and requires attunement. While wearing this armor, a creature can use its intelligence modifier in place of its strength modifier when making strength checks and strength saving throws. That's pretty good already, and invaluable for the armorer Artificer. The armor also has 4 charges. As a reaction when it would be knocked prone, the wearer can expend 1 charge to not be knocked prone. The armor regains 1d4 expended charges daily at dawn. That is a really oddly specific ability, but hey, when it happens, you'll be thankful for it. There's also Armor of Tools, which requires a suit of armor. As an action, a creature wearing this infused armor can integrate into it its artisan tools or thieves tools. In addition, you can add your intelligence modifier to any ability checks you make with the integrated tool. Again, very useful for the Artificer, using the Armorer subclass, but the bonus isn't huge or anything, and you're probably going to be going for different infusions. This is honestly the one infusion out of all of them that I would say just isn't really that good. There are just so many better options, such as Helm of Awareness. Requires 10th level Artificer and a helmet and attunement. While wearing this helmet, a creature has advantage on initiative rolls. In addition, the creature can't be surprised, provided it isn't incapacitated. This is a really good helmet. Getting advantage on initiative rolls is really good. And not getting caught in a surprise round is pretty invaluable, because when those surprise rounds happen, they could just be devastating. Now, this next infusion is, in my opinion, the most overpowered one that they've ever made. Mind Sharpener just requires a suit of armor or robes. While wearing this infused item, whenever the creature fails a Constitution saving throw to maintain concentration on a spell, it can use its reaction to succeed instead. What? Artificers already get proficiency in con saving throws, and you're probably going to take the Warcaster feat, and your con modifier is probably going to be in your top 3. So you're already really good at concentration checks, but now if you fail one, you can just use your reaction to succeed, once per turn. Unless you're getting hit really often, then this can just be absolutely broken. Even if you take so much damage that you mathematically cannot succeed on the concentration check, you can roll it, fail it, and then use your reaction to succeed on it. And it is a level 1 infusion that requires nothing, no attunement, no anything. That is just straight up crazy. This needs to have some kind of limiting factor on it, or just don't even bother with concentration checks anymore. And finally, we have the Spell Refueling Ring. This requires 6th level Artificer and a ring and attunement. While wearing this ring, the creature can recover 1 expended spell slot as an action. The maximum level of the recovered spell slot is equal to the number of magic items the wearer is currently attuned to, and once used, the ring can't be used again until the next dawn. This is another item that's really, really good for the Artificer and just kind of okay for everyone else. Yeah, you can have the Wizard or the Sorcerer recover a 3rd level spell slot, that's pretty good. But as a late game Artificer, you could recover potentially a 4th or 5th level spell slot. And this ring requires attunement, so it counts for one of those levels, which I think is kind of funny. This item's pretty balanced, it's not really anything to write home about. But yeah, that will conclude our little overview of the Armorer Artificer and some of the new infusions. Be sure to let me know what you think about the Artificer, and hopefully, with any luck, my Artificer class overview video will be coming out sometime soon. Make sure to leave a like if you like the video, and subscribe because next time we're going to be looking at the Circle of Stars Druid. Until next time, guys.